What's good, Patriots? Welcome to FTL, your #1 spot for red-pilled. No nonsense takes that slice through the woke garbage like a chainsaw through tofu. I'm your host, serving up truth bombs that the mainstream media wishes they could bury. Today, we're tearing into Eddington, Ari Aster's latest cinematic haymaker that's got liberals sobbing into their oat milk lattes and MAGA Nation pumping their fists. This film is a wild ride, and we're gonna unpack every glorious detail. Buckle up, let's roll. Eddington is a dark comedy thriller that drops you into the sun-scorched dust bowl of Copperstone, New Mexico, right as the COVID madness is hitting its peak in late 2020. Joaquin Phoenix stars as Sheriff Joe Cross, a grizzled, liberty-loving lawman who's got zero patience for government overreach or sanctimonious bureaucrats. The plot centers on Joe's battle to keep his town from imploding under the weight of COVID paranoia, a shady corporate deal, and a flood of outside agitators. Pedro Pascal plays Mayor Ted Garcia, a slimy, virtue-signaling Democrat who's pushing a sketchy data center project that smells like a globalist cash grab. Toss in a creepy drifter named Frank, some eerie supernatural vibes that keep you guessing, and a town full of quirky locals losing their minds, and you've got a movie that's part Coen Brothers, part horror, and all attitude. It's like Aster took the chaos of 2020, cranked it to 11, and sprinkled in some MAGA swagger for good measure. Let's start with the COVID takedown because holy smokes, Eddington goes hard. This movie is a love letter to everyone who saw through the pandemic hysteria from day one. Sheriff Joe is our guy. He's dodging masks like they're IRS audits, calling out the trust the science crowd for their flip-flopping nonsense. There's this one scene where he's at a town hall, and some Karen in a double mask is shrieking about saving lives, while Joe just stares her down and says, "Lady, I got asthma, and I ain't wearing your face diaper." It's like he's channeling every patriot who was screaming at their TV during those endless Fauci pressers. The film nails the absurdity of it all. Cops wearing masks under their noses, businesses shuttered while big box stores stayed open, and health officials acting like they were auditioning for a dystopian flick. Aster shows the COVID era as a power grab by power-hungry bureaucrats and blue state tyrants who wanted us locked down, tracked, and controlled. It's got that "don't tread on me" energy that makes you want to wave a Gadsden flag. MAGA Nation, this one's for us. Now, let's get to the Black Lives Matter protests because Eddington doesn't just poke at them, it swings a wrecking ball. The BLM crowd in the movie is a ragtag bunch of college kids and wannabe influencers who roll into Copperstone with signs and megaphones, led by this insufferable activist named Sarah. She's the kind of character who'd tweet a cab while sipping a $12 smoothie. The film portrays these protesters as brain-dead sheep chasing clout, screaming about systemic racism in a town that's 99% white and has zero context for their complaints. One scene has a protester holding a "defund the police" sign while begging Joe to break up a bar fight. Peak hypocrisy, and I was laughing so hard I nearly spilled my coffee. Sarah's big moment comes when she tries to lecture Joe about white privilege, and he just shuts her down with a line about how her trust fund doesn't make her oppressed. It's brutal and it's beautiful. The movie exposes the BLM movement as a performative circus, full of morons who'd rather film TikToks than actually solve anything. Liberals watching this are gonna need a safe space and a therapy dog. And then there's Antifa. Oh man, Eddington treats them like the domestic terrorists they are. These black-masked clowns show up in Copperstone, smashing windows, spray painting slogans, and trying to punish Joe for his unapologetic conservative values. Aster doesn't pull punches. He shows them as violent, cowardly anarchists who hide behind anti-fascism to justify their tantrums. There's a scene where they corner Joe in an alley, thinking they've got him, and he just laughs, cracks his knuckles, and says, "You kids picked the wrong sheriff." It's like watching a Trump rally speech come to life. Pure, unfiltered defiance. The film makes it crystal clear. Antifa isn't about fighting injustice. They're just thugs who love chaos and hate anyone who disagrees with them. Every patriot who's watched cities burn since 2020 will be cheering when Joe takes them on. It's a cinematic mic drop that says what we've all been thinking. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. The movie does take a few shots at Trump-style politics. Joe's got a bumper sticker on his truck that says, "You're being manipulated," grammar fail and all. That feels like a nod to MAGA's distrust of the system, but also a sly jab at the conspiratorial vibe. There's a moment where Joe goes on a rant about elites and fake news that sounds like it could have come straight from a Trump tweet, and the film plays it for laughs, like Aster's winking at the audience. Another scene has a local mocking Joe's build a wall attitude toward outsiders, which feels like a cheap dig. But let's be honest, these are minor gripes, like finding a pebble in your boot during a victory march. The movie spends way more time obliterating the left's sacred cows. Mayor Ted Garcia is the real villain, a smarmy Democrat who's all about equity and progress, while pushing a data center deal that's clearly gonna screw over the town. He's the kind of guy who'd wear a Kent cloth scarf while raising your taxes. There's a hilarious bit where Ted blasts Katy Perry's Firework at a fundraiser, trying to seem relatable, and you can just feel the secondhand embarrassment. The film's heart is with Joe's pro-freedom, anti-establishment vibe, and the Trump jabs are just Aster covering his bases so Hollywood doesn't blacklist him. The humor in Eddington is savage and relentless. Joe's one-liners hit like a sledgehammer, think Trump at his most unhinged, but with a badge and a drawl. One minute he's roasting a health official for counting skateboarding as exercise. The next he's telling Sarah her protest is less useful than a screen door on a submarine. Ted's attempts to be woke are pure cringe, like when he tries to connect with the youth by quoting Cardi B, and everyone just stares. The supernatural elements add a creepy layer, with weird omens and a drifter who might be more than he seems, but the real laughs come from the social satire. Aster's not afraid to make everyone look a little ridiculous, but the left gets it way worse. There's a scene where the BLM kids and Antifa start fighting each other over who's more revolutionary, and it's like watching a Reddit thread come to life. The ending? Without spoiling it, let's just say it's a chaotic, laugh-out-loud twist that ties up the madness in a way that'll have you cheering for the good guys and cackling at the left's implosion. The production itself is top-notch. Phoenix is a beast as Joe, bringing that raw, unpredictable energy that makes you believe he'd take on a whole Antifa mob single-handed. Pascal's Ted is so slimy you'll want to shower after watching him. The cinematography's got that dusty, desolate vibe that makes Copperstone feel like a pressure cooker ready to pop. And Aster's direction keeps the pace tight, balancing the horror, comedy, and political jabs without missing a beat. It's a movie that knows exactly what it wants to say and doesn't care who gets offended. Let's circle back to the politics for a second. Eddington isn't just a movie. It's a cultural gut punch. It captures the frustration of every patriot who watched the COVID tyranny, the BLM riots, and Antifa's chaos unfold while the media cheered it on. The film's pro-liberty, anti-establishment streak is pure MAGA fuel, even if it takes a couple playful swipes at our guy Trump. Those swipes are like a mosquito bite at a 4th of July cookout. Annoying, but they don't ruin the party. The real target is the left's sanctimonious nonsense, from their mask obsession to their performative activism. Aster's saying what we've all been shouting since 2020. The woke crowds lost the plot, and it's time to call them out. So, there you have it, Patriots. Eddington is a must-watch for anyone who's fed up with the COVID circus, Antifa's terrorist antics, and BLM's hypocritical clown show. It's a dark, funny, thrilling ride that's got pro-freedom, pro-MAGA energy pumping through its veins. Sure, it tosses a few jabs at Trump, but they're nothing compared to the absolute roasting it gives the left. Stream it, share it, and let's make the woke crowd cry harder than they did when Hillary lost. Hit that like button, subscribe to FTL, and drop a comment if you're ready to keep America great. Stay based, and we'll catch you next time.